For the past 18 months, I've been in what I would call a major rut, but the good news is I think I'm finally finding my way out of it. I've been more inspired to move, to cook, to get outside, and to work on myself, and this week I'm bringing you along for a simple week in my life as I continue to try and get my spark back. If you've been feeling similarly, I hope this video makes you feel inspired to keep going, and let's get into it. Good morning and happy Monday. Welcome to another video. I'm really looking forward to bringing you along for this week, and this week I wanted to focus on showing you the ways that I'm not only moving my body but also just little things throughout my week that I guess I'm incorporating and trying to be committed to doing in order to feel mentally and physically better. I've spoken about a surgery that I had at the beginning of last year many times, so in order to keep it brief, basically I had a major surgery at the beginning of 2024 on my reproductive system, and all went well with the surgery, but my physical and mental recovery was much more difficult than I ever anticipated, and it sent me into quite a depressed period of time and what I would call a very long rut. Over the past 18 months, I honestly have tried so many things in order to try and make myself feel mentally and physically better, and a lot of things haven't worked for me. But recently, something has changed in the past month or so, and I am starting to feel like I'm getting some of my spark back. And when I describe my spark that I feel like I lost, I would say it's like a zest for life and a genuine excitement to get out of bed in the morning, and that's something that I completely lost, and if anything it went the opposite way, which was really confronting for me. About a month or so ago, I really sat with myself and I thought, okay, what if I see how actually committing to moving my body regularly and mindfully, eating like whole foods and focusing on nourishment and what makes me feel good, spending less time on my phone, thinking about creative hobbies I might like to try and things like that. Like, I know that sounds like a lot all at once when I say it like that, but when I think about like the past 18 months and how hard it's been for me to feel creatively inspired to do something, or inspired to do something in general, that was like a big deal for me. And so when I was feeling this kind of energy come over me, I thought to myself, okay, I think it's time for me to really just see how, if I do this, how it makes me feel. I honestly have been feeling the best that I have felt since before my surgery, and all I can honestly equate that to right now is like moving my body regularly, as well as eating like nourishing, delicious food, as well as spending quality time with my people, whether that be like in person or over the phone with my long distance friends and family. So I've really just been, I guess, embracing like a bit of change and a bit of, I suppose the word would be self-discipline, and I've been really feeling the benefits of that mentally and physically. So I'm excited to bring you along and share with you, I guess, like part of my movement routine this week. To be honest, my movement routine changes every week, but I try and do some form of movement every day. At the moment, I'm in like a break from netball, which I usually play netball 2 to 3 times a week, and that's a big form of movement for me. So this week you won't see any of that because we're on break at the moment, but that's something that I do, as well as many other things, and I'm slowly starting to try different things and have the confidence to try different things as well, which confidence is something that has been seriously lacking for so long now, it feels like. So it's nice to actually like feel confident getting up and getting dressed and all of that stuff, because it's something I haven't felt in a long time. Anyway, I've blabbed on for long enough. Let's get into the week. And I hope you enjoy hanging out with me this week. I'm gonna get into making some sweet treats for the week, and I'm gonna make some of these like brownie protein balls today. There's a girl I follow on Instagram called Al Gibson, and she makes so many variations of them, so they're definitely inspired by her. I will leave her Instagram linked down below. The ingredients that I'm going to use today are some protein powder. This is my favorite brand and my current favorite flavor. I also have some cacao powder as well as some vanilla. I'm going to use almond butter today. I honestly prefer having almond or cashew butter in like any protein balls that I make over peanut butter, because I feel like they have a bit more of a neutral kind of flavor. I sometimes find peanut butter to be really overpowering. Then I'm also going to use some oat flour, but sometimes I sub out for some almond flour, as well as some dark chocolate, which I'm going to melt. And then for sweetness, I am going to use some medjool dates today. Sometimes I use maple syrup, but with Elle's recipes that she posts, she tends to use medjool dates, and I started doing it and they're so good. They have such a nice like gooey texture in the protein balls. So that's the plan of attack. Let's get into making them. Honestly, such a gorgeous morning this morning, and I'm so glad I decided to get out the door first thing and enjoy going for a run and a swim. I really feel like I resisted the urge to get into running for a really long time, and I don't even know if resisted the urge is actually the right term, but I sort of knew that I needed to get into running because I really want to work on my endurance. Like when I think about my fitness goals and things like that, working on my endurance is definitely like one of the number one things that I want to be doing. But honestly, I don't love running, so it's never been something that I wanted to get into. But anyway, recently I decided to start an 8-week like run program to be able to run 5Ks in 8 weeks. And yeah, definitely it's hard. I find it really hard, but because I want to be working on my endurance, I feel like it's something that I need to do. And I am finding that like the more that I go, the more I am enjoying it. But yeah, I'm absolutely gassed at the end of it, like every single time. Anyway, I'm gonna get into making kind of like some brunch, lunch kind of situation. I had a smoothie before I went out this morning, but I'm hungry now. So I'm gonna make myself a tempeh sandwich. This is the tempeh I've been using lately, and I have been really enjoying it. This one is a ginger and tamari flavored tempeh. So it's already like pre-flavored, and I literally just fry it up in a little bit of oil and salt, and it tastes really delicious. I know a lot of you ask me about tempeh because a lot of the tempeh you can get from the supermarket doesn't taste that good, and I feel like a lot of people when they try tempeh for the first time are like, what is this? And like, what am I eating? Because it can taste not very good depending on the quality of the tempeh you have. My number one tip is to always, if you have access to a health food store, go to a health food store and see if they have any in stock, and don't hesitate to ask, because I was even able to ask my local health food store if they had the ability to stock like my favorite tempeh, and they now do, and it's fabulous. So this is a new one I've been trying recently, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'm kind of on a kick with this tempeh at the moment, but any tempeh that I've ever got from like a health food store, I've really enjoyed. So that is my tip when it comes to tempeh, but also it's not for everyone. So if you don't like it, that's okay. Breakfast this morning, I have made myself a choc raspberry peanut butter smoothie. This is pretty much my favorite combo at the moment. So I feel like on mornings like today where I'm struggling to make a decision about breakfast, this has been such a go-to. It is just some ice cubes, frozen banana, frozen raspberries, some protein powder, which the protein powder that I use I'll link below, as well as cacao powder, peanut butter, and oat milk. And that's all in there, blended together. And actually, let's give it a taste. It's It's good. I have quite a bit of editing to get through today, but I'm really glad that I got out and went for a really nice walk to start the day. I used to be in such a bad habit, and honestly sometimes I still can, where when I know I have a lot of editing to do, I'll just prioritize that only and like wake up and literally not even get myself ready for the day or move my body or eat a proper breakfast and just like sit down and start working for the day, which if any of you are self-employed, you may be able to relate to that feeling that when there's things to do, you just want to get them done so that they're ticked off your to-do list. But lately I've been really trying to kick that habit and just force myself to get out the door and go for a walk before I get into any work. And it's honestly been paying off really well. I feel like it makes me feel creatively clearer in a way, and I'm not feeling so rushed as I get into it. And yeah, I feel like it's actually good for my creative flow, which I wouldn't have believed a few months ago. So I'm gonna enjoy my smoothie, I'm gonna get into my editing, and let's smash this what I eat in a week video out. I feel in a bit of a rush this afternoon, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, hello Eva. Hello darling angel. Cats are just so cute how they readjust to get themselves as comfortable as possible. Anyway, yes, I'm feeling a little bit rushed. I'm about to go to Reformer Pilates, which Reformer is something I have done for, my goodness, probably like on and off 5 or 6 years now, and it's something I really am glad that I discovered because it's a type of workout class I really look forward to going to, and I've like consistently looked forward to going to, which I can't say for anything else, to be honest. What I will say is that I definitely have, I hate using the word regressed, but it makes sense for everything that I've been through with my body and my surgery. Like, I sometimes recently have struggled with going to Reformer because I feel like a lot of my strength that I had in my body from then having surgery, and especially my core because of the nature of the surgery, I feel like a lot of my strength is just like gone, and it's been a bit of a mental battle for me to go back. To be honest, I really like it, and the reason I'm going tonight is because my favorite instructor is teaching tonight, and I find her so attentive to the needs of everyone in the class, obviously, but specifically I feel like she remembers things about me, and I don't feel bad if I'm like not able to do things that other people are able to do, because that's kind of where I'm at, to be honest. I definitely a couple of weeks ago had a class where I was like, oh wow, I can actually tell that I've made some improvements and I'm feeling stronger in like a couple of exercises, but I definitely am still like rebuilding, and I've only been quite consistent with going to Reformer for the past month or so. So yeah, it's definitely like still something that I do feel a bit vulnerable sometimes when like I feel like I stand out, which no one else would think that, you know. It's not like I never look at someone who is at like a beginner level in a class and think, oh my god, they're at a beginner level, but for some reason I always fear that that's what people are thinking of me. My point is, I love my Reformer. I've been going about 2 to 3 times a week lately, and I'm really, really enjoying it. I feel like it's a nice stretch for the body. It works out different areas of the body, and yeah, it's been just quite nice. I'm really enjoying it, so I'm looking forward to going. I wanted to show you some of my Pilates socks because I feel like part of the fun of going to Reformer Pilates is having cute socks that you get to wear. And I think tonight I'm going to wear my lavender socks, which I get my Pilates socks from, I think it's called Move Active, I'm pretty sure. I also have these cute crab ones, and I have these sunflower ones, but I'm feeling the lavender socks this afternoon. Anyway, I actually better get myself out the door because I do like getting to class a few minutes early so I can get a Reformer bed that I like, which some of you that do Reformer may relate to that, having like your comfort Reformer beds that you like to go to in your class. That's definitely something that I have anyway. And yeah, let's go. Need to get this done, and I'm gonna feel so good after. I don't know if I've ever talked about this publicly before, but I used to have what I believe was an addiction to Coca-Cola. I literally drank about a liter of it every single day for many years in my life. This was like 8 to 10 years ago now, when I was working in hospitality, and it's something that I genuinely had to work at. Like, I had to work at resisting the urge to drink it when I felt like I needed energy. Like, when I was trying to give it up, I literally would just get like full on headaches and feel like I needed to take a nap because I hadn't had like an insane amount of Coca-Cola during the day. Anyway, with all that being said, I still feel like I need something fizzy, and I really enjoy a fizzy drink, but it's one of those things where I know myself in the past where I would have a Coca-Cola on an odd occasion, and then I would end up just having one every single day that month. It's something that I can't have, and honestly I don't want to have for my health, but as well as for ethical reasons. And so anyway, my point with all of this is that the biggest thing that has helped me to stop drinking Coca-Cola is to replace with another lower sugar kind of soda. These are the ones I'm obsessed with at the moment. They're the Strange Love, and this is the Mandarin soda. But I have a few that are kind of like go-tos for me, and especially in the warmer months, I really like having sodas like with my lunch, which I'm about to get into making my lunch. And I don't know, you've probably seen me over the years like drink a lot of Sodally and things like that. And yeah, it really helps me to not drink like full sugar sodas, which definitely I can get addicted to really easily. But also I really like them, and I really like the flavor of them. And yeah, we're currently on a Strange Love kick in this house, but the Mandarin's my favorite, closely followed by the yuzu, because I am a big yuzu girl. I'm about to get into making some lunch, and I'm gonna use tempeh as my source of plant-based protein today. Tempeh is like pretty much my favorite source of plant-based protein, but I don't eat it every single day because it's at a much higher price point than tofu is. So yeah, a little bit of a treat today, having some tempeh, and I'm just gonna see what else we have in the fridge and the pantry and throw something together. So I've decided I'm gonna go and try a new class at the gym this afternoon, which I've been wanting to give this class a go for a little while. It's a mobility class, which is to help with just like stretching and recovery and things like that. And I have been wanting to try this for a while because I definitely need to be stretching more. I definitely mix up like what types of movement that I'm doing throughout the week, but typically I do play a lot of netball, plus I'm trying to get into running, and obviously they have quite like an impact on the body, as like most forms of movement do. And I feel like I've just never been good at prioritizing recovery or stretching or anything like that. And then sometimes when I'm stretching at home, I'm like, am I even doing this right? Like, is this stuff that's going to benefit me? So yeah, I've been keen to try out doing a mobility class for a while just to see how I go. And yeah, maybe it'll be something that I'll start regularly doing. And I've put my running shoes on because I think that if I'm still in the mood, I'm going to go for a run after the class. I feel like because I haven't been playing netball this week, I'm actually missing that kind of like cardio. And yeah, I just am actually in the mood to go for a run this afternoon. Like, it's a beautiful day, and yeah, it's quite funny for me to say I'm actually in the mood to go for a run because I never thought that I would hear those words come out of my mouth. But running is definitely good for me. It's challenging, which is why it's good for me. I feel like once I get past that mental barrier, and once I get to the point where I can run like a kilometer or two without stopping, I think I'll feel a lot better about it. But I'm at such a beginner stage right now that I do feel like there's still that mental block. So seeing as I'm in the mood today, I feel like I should take the opportunity and actually go for it. Okay, I went totally MIA there for over 24 hours, but I have a good reason, and that is because yesterday on my lovely morning walk to start the day, I got my period. And whilst my period doesn't give me as much grief as it did before I had my surgery, it's still quite a challenging thing for me. Like, not as bad and not for as long, but it is still something that I am navigating. And typically on like day 1 and usually day 2 of my period, I have like pretty much a complete rest day. I usually just edit if I have work to do because I don't feel like being on camera, and I normally don't do any kind of like big amounts of movement. And so anyway, the timing actually was so bad yesterday because a few of my friends came down from Brisbane to have a sleepover, which I'd been looking forward to all week, and then they got here and I was in such like a blah kind of mood. I feel like when I'm on my period, I just like want to be lying down, and I find it hard. Even things like getting dressed, I just feel so like, I don't know, I can't really fully describe the feeling, but maybe if you're watching this and those descriptors are enough, maybe you can relate. But anyway, I was in not the greatest mood when they got here, but I ended up being in a good mood. We ended up having dinner and we watched Aquamarine, which I hadn't watched Aquamarine since, my goodness, I reckon it was like 10 years, but we really wanted to watch it because Bonnie had never seen it before. And we were also fathoming that it was filmed on the Gold Coast, so it was really fun like seeing the spots that I now know very well. And then this morning we ended up having a nice morning. I was feeling a bit better. We ended up getting some breakfast and just enjoying some sunshine together, which was really lovely. And I had such a nice time, and I'm definitely feeling a bit better this afternoon. My boyfriend is working today, and so I'm gonna have like just a bit of a self-nourishing kind of afternoon and evening, which will be really nice. And I honestly feel like I need it because I feel just really tired, and I feel like I can't rely on other people to fill up my cup when I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling today. Like, I need to try and fill my own cup up. So that's the plan of attack for the rest of the day. It's a very exciting day today because our friends who have been living in Finland for the past couple of years are visiting on the Gold Coast, and they are a vegan couple as well. So we are going to take them to our favorite vegan restaurant on the Gold Coast, which is Greenhouse. I feel like I've taken you to Greenhouse so many times throughout my YouTube journey because they have been operating since long before I lived on the Gold Coast, and they're still going, and the food is incredible. Anyway, we are really excited to have lunch with our friends today. It's also just like such a beautiful day. We're gonna sit on the patio at the restaurant. It's a gorgeous way to spend a Sunday, and I'm really excited. I don't know what's going on with this hair right now. Ooh. Well, I feel like because my hair is so fine and because I have been growing it out, whenever I do any kind of styling to it or anything like that, it just doesn't stay that way for long. It really loves to drop as soon as it possibly can. I've just sat down and done my admin for the week ahead. On Sunday evenings, I'm in a pretty good routine now of allowing myself an hour to 2 hours to sit down and just like figure out what's going on for the week ahead. And this is something that I need to do for my work because I primarily work for myself, and I do need to have a plan, and I need to have accountability for myself, honestly, to ensure that I'm posting and that I'm sticking to deadlines and all of that kind of stuff, especially because I post across multiple platforms. It's something that I need to keep on top of, and I need to sit down and allocate time to what I'm going to be doing throughout the week. And as well as that, lately, as I've been really trying to get into more of a movement routine, although I don't like to be really strict like with everything that I'm doing in terms of my workouts, I like to sit down and have like a guideline for how I think my week's gonna look. So for example, if I know I have a really hectic work day on the Wednesday and I'm gonna be doing 12 hours of editing or whatever it is, I know, okay, that's a day where I'm just gonna get up and go for a walk in the morning, and that's gonna be my movement for the day, because I'm probably not gonna have time to go to Pilates or something like that. For me, my work and my workouts and my social life kind of like intertwine with each other in that way, where I find that planning all of them at the same time really works for me. And I do think that's a privilege, because I don't work a 9 to 5, and I'm super aware of that when I'm sharing my workouts and stuff like that. Lately, as I really try and prioritize working on myself and just like getting out of this rut, I guess, that I've mentioned that I've been in for a long time, and I am starting to feel the benefits of that. I feel extra grateful to be doing what I'm doing, because it's something that I'm aware is like such a privilege and definitely helps me when it comes to my mental health and well-being and everything. So I've now planned my week ahead, and I feel really good after doing so. I feel like it just, you know, having a plan in front of me makes me feel like it's possible to complete that plan, if that makes sense. And I feel like for me, everything that's going on in here, getting it out onto paper or typing it out, makes me feel like it's so much more achievable. So feeling good after that, and definitely really keen for a good night's sleep tonight before I get into a brand new week. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed hanging out for the week, and I hope you have a beautiful week ahead. And yeah, I'll see you in next week's video. Bye. Oh, bye.